she's got boatloads of money to pass around because, of course, as you know, AOC, if you listen to AOC and the progressives and the left Soros progressive funded, borderless America activists, here's their logic in the Democratic Party. AOC actually said it. America's responsible for all the poverty in Central America because of our policies over the years messing with their elections. Imagine this. Our destabilizing of their elections. It's the same people that say election integrity isn't to be questioned. She says we should open our borders because of our CIA involvement with Central America and South America. It's messed all these countries up. So we have an obligation to basically adopt them all in our country. This is like it's such mindless stupidity, but nobody quotes it because nobody thinks it through. Kamala Harris is trying to keep that part of the party happy while opening the borders to a problem that America created now when Trump had it under control. And then she's going down to Central America to lecture them on the cause. And she even includes climate change as one of the great issues that is the problem. But what have you got? You found a segment for me with Lester Holt, Mercedes. So what have we got here? Well,
we got a couple clips this last segment, but I want to obviously play the hot button issue this week. So let's play that one, Kamala, with Lester Holt.
Quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, I mentioned it because I know Republicans have certainly come at you on this, but Democratic Congressman Cuellar has a border district has said to you and the president, come. You need to see this.
Listen, I care about what's happening at the border.
I just think it's so funny where it almost comes off, Lance, like the media is like, well, don't you think it might be a good idea to go down to the border? Maybe just ask it again. I mean, just put a button in it. Do you have any plans on going to the border? I mean, other than holding up a giant sign that says, we think you should go to the border, I just find it hilarious. I really do. And this nervous laugh that she has, she does all over the place. I saw Ben Shapiro commenting on it today, and he's like, oh, it sounds like an evil villain laugh. And I had this idea, and I put this clip together. Let's roll that.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. I don't understand the point that you're making.
I just thought it was hilarious, Lance. It's like this evil, maniacal, nervous laugh that she does. So I've got a whole other minute of it over on my Facebook page. You can go check it out.
All right, your Facebook page, by the way, is how do they get in touch with you if they want to see this stuff?
The whole thing? Mercedes' sense of humor that you missed last week is it's at follow Sadie's on any social media site. But before we go, because I know we're really limited, I'm going to keep the segment moving along. And that is, you know who had the best explanation as to what are the root causes? She's all after the root cause, the root cause. And Sean Hannity had this great piece, and I grabbed it. And then when we come back, you take it away, Lance.
I've been there 14 times, Kamala. You'll learn a lot, trust me. After all, Kamala seems to only be worried about the root causes of migration, which she is blaming on climate change, which, of course, is a massive lie. And you're now looking at the actual root cause of this year's mass migration, and it's not climate change. Right there. The problem is caused by Joe and Kamala. They're the ones that ended the stay in Mexico policy. They stopped the wall construction. They stopped any and all deportations. They vowed to open up all of our borders and promised free health care and amnesty when they were running for office. And one of Kamala's favorite slogans was, say it loud, say it clear, everyone is welcome here. Well, on the campaign trail, Joe Biden actually told migrants to surge the border on day one. He told them to come. They're telling us that's why we're coming. We're believing them. Take a look.
What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
All right, Joe telling migrants to come, and they did in record levels. Many now decked out in Biden campaign gear. Thanks for letting us in, Joe. And even the president of Guatemala, he's now blaming Joe and Kamala for the ongoing surge, lecturing both of them. Take a look.
The message changed too. We're going to reunite families, and we're going to reunite children. The very next day, the Coyotes were here organizing groups of children to take them to the United States. We asked the United States government to send more of a clear message to prevent more people from leaving.
This week, Kamala Harris finally told migrants, not to come because she believes they'll be turned away, which all of us know is a lie. Nobody is being turned away, and that's the message they're getting every single day. Nobody in the Biden-Harris administration is upholding the law. The exact opposite is true. Everybody knows it. Joe and Kamala, they are aiding and abetting all of this law breaking, and you're paying for it.
Do you remember when Donald Trump said, I'm going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it? You know how he did that? He told the president of Mexico, look, I will use tariffs if necessary in order to fund the protection of our border. And the president of Mexico said it won't be necessary, and they deployed their military. Their military essentially became the wall that stopped the cartels. If you ever see this, folks, I mean, it's like wild. The territory of the cartels is literally, it's like Boardwalk Park Place, Pennsylvania Avenue. Each of the cartels have a segment of the crossover country in the United States. They make more money with their coyotes bringing people into the United States than they do off of the drug trade, although the drug trade's bonus bucks because they get the fentanyl in also. So the drugs, the gangs, but the money they get based upon the territory you cross over in. So when Trump put the Mexican military on that line, it screwed up the passage. And then the wall became the physical emblem. Biden's administration hates Trump so much, and they're so stupid, that they basically said, wherever he did, we'll undo it. Whatever he did, we'll undo it. So they just made a checklist of everything Trump accomplished and went in the opposite direction, which isn't the most intelligent strategy in the world. But I think this one line is going to live in infamy, that no, I haven't been to the border, and what's that line, but neither have I been to Europe. Mm-hmm. That one is going to haunt her for a long time. I mean, how many of you want to have an operation done by somebody that never went to medical school, never went to med school, but I haven't been to Disney either, so what difference does it make? She is going to be stalked by her own incompetence. The more that the spotlight is on her, the more people are going to realize that the charm offensive and the race narrative is a loser for her, and it's going to be a loser for the Democrats coming towards midterms, or whenever they flip Biden out and put her in his place, because she is a placeholder. All right, let's take a look now on the other side, the more optimistic turn, the awakening. Trump himself is back on the offensive, and he's hitting the election, and he's hitting Wuhan. Bam, bam. Those are the two tracks of this awakening. Let's hear what he has to say.
You know, not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. He likes television more than any politician in this room, and they like television. But he's been wrong on almost every issue, and he was wrong on Wuhan and the lab also, very wrong. And we ended the payments. You know, they were started in 2014, and then I can tell you, Mark Meadows came in, and I talked to him, and he saw what I saw, and I said, what the hell's going on? When did that start? Started in 2014, and we ended it. Our administration ended it. But generally speaking, I went the opposite way of Dr. Fauci, what he was saying. For instance, Fauci said, do not close our borders to China or Europe, but I did it anyway. And months later, he said, I made the right decision and saved thousands and thousands of lives. He said it was the right decision, but he did not want to close that border. I said, wait a minute, there's tremendous infection over there. We can't let this happen. And we closed it, and I think we saved hundreds of thousands of lives. You remember the number was 2.2 million people in our country who were expected to die. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. You remember that? No, masks don't work, masks don't. And then he went into masks, and then he became a radical masker. I would call it. If you have 3, if you have 4, get a pair of goggles also, ideally. And let's wear them for another 5 or 6 years. But Fauci has perhaps never been more wrong than when he denied the virus and where it came from. The time has come for America and the world to demand reparations and accountability from the Communist Party of China. We should all declare within one unified voice that China must pay. They must pay.
Mr. President, I've got an idea for you. Since reparations is a hot-button issue and it's the language of the left, why don't we tie reparations into China restoring small businesses and minority-owned businesses that were destroyed by COVID? Let the reparations start with small business and minority businesses in America and flip the left on its own lid. By the way, you can keep track of all of our broadcasts on all the channels that we're on, from YouTube to Twitter to Facebook, etc., at lancewallnow.com. And as always, we're on this Real America's Voice every week, and you want to get the app, download the app, and not miss one single broadcast. We're bringing you the breaking news, and there's much that's happening right now. The elections fraud issue is on fire. We'll see you again next week.